Thank you for indulging us. Mr. Speaker, in the order paper today, at page 6, item 17, there's a notice of a committee meeting, a committee of the whole, in this very chamber. And the agenda is for the governor to apprise the House on the cost of the construction of the new Bank of Ghana headquarters at Ridge, Accra, and related matters. Mr. Speaker, let me state for the records that this side of the House is not against accountability. It is not against a state institution coming to this House to apprise us of its activities. It is part of our duties to disseminate such information to our constituents, and it's within our right to demand for sale. However, the preliminary issue we have, which was initially raised by my respected colleague Habib Idrisu, the first deputy minority whip, had to do with procedure of initiating our rights. Rights are exercised, but through some process. And we know that this is a house of rules and procedure. This house observes its own practices, conventions, and equally guided by the Constitution, standing orders, etc., etc. It is our case that for the governor of the central bank to come, the matter should first be raised on the floor, either through a question, a statement, or some other means in accordance with our rules. Order 91 of our rules allow a member to bring up an issue of urgent public importance. Our rules under Order 114 also allows for motions to be filed. Mr. Speaker, when a motion is debated, there could be consequential directives which would then pave way for a head of an institution, a constitutional body, to apprise the House. So all our cry is about procedure. For the records, this matter, although came up in the 8th Parliament, it has never come up in the 9th Parliament. No member of Parliament has filed a question, filed a motion, neither has any member filed a statement, which statement has been admitted by Mr. Speaker, resulting in the need to bring the governor of the central bank to this chamber. However, in all fairness to the majority leader, he raised the matter at the business committee meeting where he chairs. And eventually in the business committee report he presented last Friday, he did indicate that the central bank governor is being programmed to apprise the House today, and same has been advertised. Our side is of the view that in spite of that process initiated by the majority leader, the right procedure to trigger our jurisdiction as a House would be for the matter to be properly raised. Mr. Speaker, This is all our prayer. It is therefore in your hands to take a decision so that the House can make progress. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I will give the floor to...
Respectfully, the honorable member who just rose and caught your eye has just been appointed as a director of the bank. He's gone through the process, nomination through Council of State, and finally he has become a director. Although he's yet to be sworn in, I humbly hold a view that he can pass on his concerns to some other member to ask. Because, Mr. Speaker, the governor said that the same board is going to pursue the matter. It is obvious that he's in conflict. He's in conflict in the sense that, first, Mr. Speaker, is in conflict in the sense that he's torn between two bona fides here. One as a director, and the second as a member of this legislature. Mr. Speaker, a matter has come before this House. And the matter that has come before this House, though you don't have a personal interest, you have an interest in your official capacity. That is, as part of your functions, the governor has indicated that you are going to undertake certain activities. I do not think that it would be appropriate in the circumstances to now proceed to be asking questions on the very matter that you are going to peruse in your capacity as a director of the bank. Mr. Speaker, I've just made my submission. It's for you to rule upon it.
Honourable members, guided by the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Justice Abdullah versus Attorney General Adongo, you have the floor. Ask your question. One up, so that we can give the opportunity to the governor to respond to all issues raised.
Mr. Chair, my humble suggestion is that they have received a lot of questions. Let them clear it. Then once they are done, we can come in with our, then they will do the final answering.
With all due respect, I want the governor to factor the questions from minority and majority leader, then we call it off, please.
Chairman, I'm not having
yes, you may yield to any other person you are entitled to do.
I'm not yielding.
Yeah.
You've not gotten the trust of my submission. What I'm saying is that we've had over several questions. They have about 25 questions to answer. I am only pleading. Our duty is to guide the chair.
Yes.
So let them answer those questions.
Your point is well noted. What I intend to do is that add your questions so that they will take it in a whole.
Chairman, there may be a follow-up. You see? Oh, come on, please. Chairman, we are asking the final set of questions. There may be follow-up emanating. So let them answer. We'll take further note because I've taken note. Then when we come,
Honourable Minority Leader, at what point will you give me the opportunity to moderate?
Chairman, it's okay. Let's okay. Chairman, the governor in his introductory remarks, in his intro, he indicated that they, as a bank, have a duty in ensuring financial stability, and that duty they would not depart from. He is also giving us a professional response to the general concerns on the streets of Accra. Indeed, to demonstrate transparency, he told this House that he came with those in charge of the project, and they are available with us to answer questions that may come from this House floor. Chairman, in the 6-page report from the governor titled Report to the 9th Parliament on the new corporate headquarters for the Bank of Ghana, named the Bank Square, dated Bank of Ghana, March 5, 2025. Indeed, the entire report does not raise any irregularity in respect of the subject matter. The Central Bank Governor relied on this report with a further submission from his prepared notes, and he has taken us through the step-by-step processes and the step-by-step procedures that the bank followed. I think that's a mark of leadership, and on this side of the House we convey to you our respect to you for that sincerity. The allegation of irregularity today has been put to a peaceful rest. In your submissions, you highlighted the following. One, that even the standard costing procedure is lower than the industry market price, as contained in your submissions, which submissions have become part of Hansard and is a matter of public records. Two, you have also shared with us as the people's representatives that the variations were occasioned by necessity. The necessity included one, security, which was not initially considered. Two, the need to have a system that would generate power, a recycling facility. You've also indicated that indeed this also necessitated the variation. Third, you've added, and this came through the project manager, that apart from the building, the original tower, there were other additional buildings that were originally not considered as part of the original bid I'm happy that Hansard has witnessed all these explanations. Hansard has witnessed all these explanations. A moment ago, Mr. Chair, this room was filled. The majority filled all their spaces. And it is obvious the majority leader is looking behind him. Look behind you. All of them have vanished. Mark of friend match, Aboka. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I have also from the records of the governor, by way of my fourth point, come to understand that indeed the final value for the project, which is the 261 million, indeed included some 48 million of same as taxes. So, yes, so it wasn't the case that the value by way of the cost paid to the contractor in entirety was some 261 million. However, it was an all-inclusive costing which had a $48 million being paid to the states in taxes. So that distinction has also been drawn, and this parliament is pleased for that information from the governor. My fifth observation, that everything done according to the governor, not mine, according to the governor, everything done was regular. Everything done was within the law. He did. It's here. It's here. The governor, this is the report. I will read it. Oh, it's okay. I'll read it. I'll read it. I will read it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I read page 7. Let me start from page 7, page 1, paragraph 6. The need to procure a highly complex central bank accommodation, meeting national security considerations, and the bank's highly classified information security needs inform the selection of the firms. The bank wrote to the Public Procurement Authority on 14 January 2020 for approval to use the restricted tendering method. The following firms known to be operating in Ghana, emphasis known to be operating in Ghana, were shortlisted. And the companies are there. Renaissance Construction, though not wholly a Ghanaian-owned company, partnered with a local company, David Walter Limited, during the tendering process. Paragraph 7. The PPA, by a letter dated January 2020, conveyed the board's approval to the Bank of Ghana. This approval to use the shortlisted contractors for the restricted tender also revised the estimated cost of the project from 100 million to 81 million. 8. After evaluation of tenders were received, the entity tender committee of the bank, at its meeting held on 6th August 2020, Consider tender evaluation panel's recommendation. Emphasis. Consider the entity tender panel's recommendation and approved the award of the contract for project to Mrs. Gold Key Properties Limited at the cost of 121 million under 10 key into bracket design and build contract arrangement. Design and build. So, for emphasis, the project was not just about Gold Key building. Gold Key was required because it was a 10 key project. Was required to design and build. So two things. 9. The ETC further directed for concurrent approval to be sought from the Central Tender Review Committee of the Ministry of Finance. So we are going by procedure known in law. Procedure known in law. 10. The PPA, in response to the bank's letter dated 31st August 2020 on the outcome of the tender process, reviewed the initial PPA approval estimated amount of 81 million to the 120 million. So they carried all the recommendations of the review panel back to PPA that we want you to approve, look at it, and then approve it or otherwise. And PPA again approved this. So this is what the central bank is telling us, that they followed due process. Now let's go to their paragraph 10. Very, very important. The PPA, in response to the bank's letter dated 11, the CTRC, that's the Central Tender Review Committee, in September, so you follow day by day, dates are all captured. September 2020 granted concurrent approval to the bank to engage the recommended tenderer, Mrs. Gold Key Properties Limited, at a contract price of 121 million under 10 key and contract arrangement. Now 12. In November 2020, the bank signed a contract with the contractor for the construction of the corporate headquarters for a period of 30 months, into bracket 6 months for design, 24 months for construction. The project site was formally handed over to the contractor in March 2021 for the commencement of preliminary site works and designs. So, Mr. Speaker, Chairman, from this point, it is clear that due process, according to the central bank, was followed. This is their report, not mine. This is not a partisan report. This is not a report from any consultant. This is a report which is the bona fide of central bank to this house. Mr. Chairman, let's come to design scope and cost reviews. The narrative out there was that a contract sum to Gold Key amount to X amount. But here, there's a disclosure that there is a design scope. There's a scope for design of the whole work. And we all know that in our own small properties that we build, we engage an architect to design at a different cost, which is not part of the building cost. So at this point, it's been explained. Thank you, Central Bank. Then we come to paragraph 13. The initial design proposals for the project envisage a gross floor area of 73,000 square meters with the following details. 1. 25-story tower block, 4-story car park facility, 2-level basement and an auditorium. Then On 14, the central bank goes further that they need to reconfigure the special requirement to meet all relevant statutory requirements and functionality and address inadequacies in the employer's requirement resulted in the modification of the initial design concept and scope, and a scope change to the current gross floor area of 107,000 square meters. So, Mr. Speaker, I am emphasizing this because originally the central bank says that it was looking at 73,000 square meters. Now, in their own report, some people were asking what is the justification for the increase in the pricing. Now, the central bank has again told us that they increased the space to 107,000 square meters. And then under this, they are now telling us that the project currently consists 3 main blocks. Originally, it was just 1 block. Now 3 main blocks, and they have named them the tower, the urban and amenities block, with basements, podiums, and ancillary facilities. Now, the under 50 tower block, 20-story.
Honorable members, let there be order. Let's have some order. Honorable Adongo, please resume your seat.
When I'm done, your leader would also have an opportunity. Would you be happy when my side obstruct him the way you obstructing me?
Honorable Minority Leader, address the chair. Honorable Adongo, resume your seat.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Bank of Ghana, after explaining the increase in the gross floor area, now covering 107,000 square meters, now gives us a breakdown of the new design. And under the new design, these are the breakdowns. 1, they say they're now going to have a tower, urban and amenities blocks with basements, podiums, and ancillary facilities. And these are the specific breakdowns. The tower block is supposed to be a 20-story block, urban block of 18-story, amenities block 6-story, basement of 5 levels with car park areas, ancillary facilities, energy farms, treatment plants, and security gate houses. Then they go further to say, in addition to meeting these requirements of all relevant building codes, the building design incorporated sustainable design concepts such as energy conservation, water conservation, recycling, and reuse of waste, liquid, and solid. And they said that this thing is the first of its kind in the country. Then they go further to say the design satisfies the excellence in design for greater efficiencies green standard, for which preliminary edge advance has been used. Excellence in design for greater efficiencies. Edge. Mr. Speaker, this is Bank of Ghana to us. Now, the paragraph 18. The ETC of the bank at its meeting held in December 2022 considered and approved the design review and the revised project costs of 2,068 per square meter. This figure is lower than the market value, with data from African Properties and Construction Cost Guide of 2021-2022 stating 2,658 per square meter, and in 2022-2023 at 2,720 per square meter at average construction cost for prestige high-rise office spaces in Africa. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this report is coming from the bank, that in all their dealings, they ensured value for money, and then the pricing was even far lower in terms of known costs, benchmarks in the industry. This is in their report, not mine. Mr. Speaker, the central bank continues to say that the CTRC subsequently granted concurrent approval for the revised scope of works at the cost of 2,068 per square meter, which translates into 222 million as the construction cost. So, Mr. Speaker, from all indications in the report from Central Bank, and in fact, it is not as if the managers or the directors who were in charge of this project are the ones who are still there to trigger any curiosity. They are not in office. Dr. Addison is no more there. His other deputies are not there. Dr. Siama and the new team are here to give us an honest account of what the records have. And they've been very sincere that should anybody on the streets of Accra today say that the central bank building, that project did not meet value for money or that it is too expensive, what Bank of Ghana is saying is that it is cheaper as compared to market standards. What the central bank is saying that the construction of the entire project came at a lesser cost to the country and that they have saved this country money. The reports are here. Mr. Speaker, if you come to paragraph 19, the central bank again gives us a further breakdown. That out of the construction cost of 222, payment made to date is $202 million. Leaving $20 million to be paid. He says that...
Honorable Minority Leader,
yes,
please be brief.
Yes, sure. I'm concluding. Thank you, Chair. Now, he says that as at end of February 2025, over $42 million had been paid in taxes. Mr. Speaker, of emphasis is the fact that this construction came at a great savings, huge savings to the state. Instead of the contractor being paid 2,658 per square meter, Bank of Ghana was able to negotiate a lower amount of 2,068. This is contained in paragraph 18. Bank of Ghana is saying that apart from following due process, it has also saved the taxpayer money. That we have 107,000 square meter project. On each square meter, there is a savings of $600 plus. Multiply $600 plus, multiply it by 107,000 square meter. What do we get? My math is not good. We are talking about something amount in excess of $70 million. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I welcome the governor's closing remarks in his submission to the effect that, yes, these steps were all taken. These are the hard facts. However, there is a new board coming in. All these facts will be made known to the new board. I welcome that. That is how we ensure good governance. So the new board must know. 2, Governor also assures us that all these things, in spite of the cost savings and all, will still be subjected to value for money audit, which is also good. AESL is a known institution, and with all the professionals involved, I believe that if they look at it, they will be able to come to a certain conclusion. So I think that it is very fair. We must not play any political football with this. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude with an observation that in future, should some of these concerns emanate in this house, I believe, has some aspect in the area of building and construction. We may perhaps have to look at inviting Mr. Speaker to set up a special committee which is made up of experts in that field. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm not an expert in that field of design and construction. So I may not make it when it comes to the selection onto that committee. But in this house, there are IT experts, there are architects, there are engineers, there are financial engineers who know this field. So to guide us and not to expose this house to some public, I don't want to say public ridicule. We don't need to expose ourselves that everything is politics. No. But I think that even this exercise, in spite of all the procedural issues, is good for governance. At least the public out there knows that the people's representatives are doing their work. And New Bank of Ghana, you've come transparently, done it. I know some TV stations were carrying it live. They had to truncate at a point. It's good for governance. So, Mr. Governor, thank you once again. Chairman, I appreciate your patience in indulging me. I would resume my seat without more and pray that when the board is sworn in and the work that is expected is done, Governor would again come and apprise the House with the outcome of it. On behalf of my colleagues, we say a big thank you to you and your team. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minority Leader. But with all due respect, there is no procedural issues here. Honorable Majority Leader, you have the